to DPW report.
Not a whole lot. You guys all received a copy of my report. Any questions on it?
No, you're gonna go into those windows?
Yep.
After, okay.
Yep. After last meeting, for Windows being Supervisor Leonard sat down, kinda went through what everybody should expect as far as when they were bidding out the windows, so everybody's on the same page. We put a list together, sent it, emailed it back out to the same bidders that we had from last time around. So far, we've gotten 3 of the 4 back, so we're still on hold for 1 more. I reached out to them last week, they said they were gonna get something to me by the end of last week, and I haven't, so I'll give them until the end of this week. And if we don't hear anything, then we'll move forward with what bids we have to get sit down one-on-one so they can come in and give us a presentation.
Oh, when did the email go out to them? Was it June, July?
No, it was 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious, 3 out of 4 in 3 weeks.
Yeah, the first ones we got back pretty quick,
Yeah.
with the updated list of what we recommended to them, that what the town would like for the windows put in here. So I'll reach out again this week for the last one, and if I don't hear anything back, we'll move forward with the ones that we.
We basically put a spec together so everyone's bidding on the same.
Did you
No, I-
put with that mine? Timely response is usually the
We did,
factor.
we put a timely response would be appreciated.
Oh,
I
you
said
didn't give them a date?
a date, no, I physically then talked to them and say, hey, did you get the new specs? I mean, not just email, I wanna make sure they got it. And said, we need it by this meeting, hopefully. So.
That could be an indicator of
Yep.
their timeliness.
Yeah.
in their-
And with the last one, they very well could be.
I
Other
just,
than that,
I just wanna thank both of you for putting the time into it, and getting the detailed spec together.
So the next step will be once, if we don't get the last quote in, we'll give you guys everything that we have and try and get a one-on-one, me and Supervisor Leonard with each of the bidders to come in and,
Unless you guys want them to come in front of you.
yeah.
I think if you narrow it down,
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna do like just a top level summary of the 3
Yeah.
variables
Yeah.
and where your recommendation is, that type of thing?
Yep.
And then we'll give the bids to you, we'll have them come in and do their little presentation with us, and then we'll kinda go through them and make a recommendation to you guys.
thank you.
No, that's perfect, thank you. We still have time to get it done this year, so we should be good.
Yeah, it's all budgeted money from last year's.
And we've got some special meetings coming up, so we can potentially review it from one of those.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting for one. You got it ready?
Okay, as soon as we can.
All right, thank you. Chief Gorecki, I wanted to first congratulate you on your FBI certification, or soon-to-be certification. Did I understand also that Chief Runge was hitting some of those classes too?
He's completed all 3
Yep.
classes, and I completed all 3, so, I'm waiting to hear back, which, then the FBI LIDA will certify us as, FBI LIDA agency.
Very good, cool. So be careful, everybody.
Start out with tonight, the peer permit, submitted by Olivia Anderson at W 1314 Beach Road. I spoke with Olivia today, reviewing it again, and we came to a compromise. So the drawing that you have has changed a little bit. We've agreed because of the overgrowth in the channel, channel is probably wide enough that they could put the pier 12.5 feet. But with all the overgrowth, it would actually block the navigable waterway. So they wanna turn the pier against the shore lengthwise add a foot on each side, so it would be a 6-foot pier, it'd still give them 12 feet, between the property line, and then they would put the shore station, on that side, so instead of the pier extending out into the water, it would be parallel to the shore, and then the shore station on the outside.
Like almost an L.
Not an L, just a straight dock. So, is that correct, Olivia? Yeah. So, that would be the only change. I kind of did a doodle, if somebody wants to see it on my paperwork, so they don't quite visualize it. I did a little doodle on my sheet, so to look at it. But with that compromise and change that they were willing to do, I don't see a reason, and that leaves the waterway open for boats further down the channel to be able to get out.
That makes sense.
I'll see right here, yeah. Okay.
That is not the scale, by the way.
It's in the channel.
It is in the channel, yes.
Does that make them a riparian owner or not?
Well, you're asking me a question that is like over here, I don't know. My knee-jerk answer is that they have property touching water, I would say yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, if they can't cut weeds in front of your house, you are not. So if they can't get a weed cutter in front of your place, you are not a riparian owner.
There you go.
I stand corrected.
Is
Sorry.
that
Do they have to be weeds in the ground or in the water?
I'm sorry?
Do they have to be weeds in the water that can't be above? Since there's overgrowth?
It's usually aquatic plants, I'm assuming, but if they can't get their weed cutter in front of your house, you don't have a vote for the management district, you're not a riparian owner.
Thank you for that clarification.
So we wanna,
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Mills is still conferring with Mr. Janner.
sorry.
On the new drawing there are 12.
They're 12-foot from property line on each side.
Okay.
I'll just need the adjusted drawing for the records.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
A doodle or
we're good to approve it with the updated drawing.
I'll have to look at the doodle before I know if it can be scanned in as an official, the registration permit information.
So assuming that's correct, I guess.
Make a motion to approve the pier permit, with an updated drawing to be submitted to the clerks for Olivia Anderson. W1314 Beach Road, PET 900004H2.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thanks for the
Carries.
compromise.
yeah.
For the month, I submitted, in your packet, 5,597 calls for service, total of 707 citations, issued for the year. That includes traffic citations and, ordinance violations. And then the next thing, I submitted to you, an estimate that I got, came up in years past about putting in a kiosk at the boat launch. This is, the company that Lynn Township has used. We spoke to their salesperson, they sent something over, and this is simply getting it in there and putting it in front of you for you to review. I expect no action on it, today, just get it, submit an idea, and then we can talk about it in future meetings, now that we're coming into fall and something maybe for spring.
Do they require the spares?
Well, we were talking about that with Todd. The spare stuff, if you notice, they give you a 25% discount if you buy it at the time,
Right.
which I'm assuming that are their typical things that go wrong, and so, you wouldn't need to, but when your keypad goes bad, for whatever reason, you're paying full boat to replace your keypad, whereas if you have one, you got a discount.
A lot of times, service response turnaround is required based on a spare parts kit, otherwise it's forever. So that might be something we gotta.
So, like I said, it was just a proposal, I wanted to put it in front of you, bring it to your attention, that we do have options out there, this is not the only company, but the reason I grabbed them is because they are used by one of our local Walworth County municipalities. To my knowledge, there's nobody else in Walworth County using them, I know there's some over by Muskego Lake, that we've seen in the past, but, nothing here, and I know up in Green Lake, where I spent some time, they have a kiosk at their boat launch also.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
When the launch is full, I get that. If somebody leaves and there is now an open spot, how does the kiosk know that?
Well, the kiosk doesn't necessarily know that.
Okay,
Oh.
so what does somebody
So-
who wants to get into the boat launch, I mean, does the,
It's not gonna eliminate attendance. You're still gonna have to have an attendant
no, I understand.
working, so that's how that would be.
Okay, okay, I didn't know if
Yeah, no.
it's still, or.
Even Lynn Township still has attendants working.
Well, I know that in Lake Geneva, you can park in a parking lot and if, I mean, there's a meter and you did that sort of thing. And I didn't know if this kiosk was in that same,
No, we're not putting up gates, like, it would be too much if you like put up gates that wouldn't allow access and that type of thing.
I wasn't thinking a gate, but I know when I park in Lake Geneva, when I pay for parking, you know, in their lot, I go in and I park with a number, you know, it takes
Mhm.
my license plate, and I didn't know if the kiosk was taking like a boat trailer or something, and when you know, if it's a fisherman, he might not stay the whole time, and he leaves, and then there's an open spot, and I didn't know if somebody could come in and pay again for that spot, or,
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
okay. Thanks.
Sure.
Would you recommend? With respect to the increase in DNR boat launch fees, that's gonna require an ordinance update, so we're gonna have to put that on a future agenda.
That was my next, item that I had, is, found out from the DNR posted on February 2025, they've updated their, fees, that, municipalities are allowed to charge. My understanding is our fees have not increased in some time. I wrote on the side, suggested increase in fees, 10, 15, 20, and 25, depending on the length of the boat. And make it round numbers. So I wanted to include that in the packet for you guys to review also.
So should we, go ahead.
Oh, I did a memo that I gave you guys too.
Yep.
I think the kiosk would be very helpful for us. I just do not want a kiosk that we have to service and put cash in. 10 years of banking and servicing ATMs, we don't wanna go there.
That has all changed in the last 20 years. I talked to my wife about that, and
You still have to put the money in and you have to take the money out.
I don't know if they'll give change, but I've taken the money out now, so it would
The
be
money
fall upon
you
me.
had to quote for is money.
What? You could swipe with the card, or if you showed up, you could pay cash. I would still have to go and get the cash and the receipt showing how much cash was put in and turn it into here,
And we
which would
still
give
have to put
the
change in it.
accountability.
We'd have to put money into it for change.
I don't know if it gives change, I didn't ask that
But
question.
if I come and I got a kayak, I'm a non-parker, $10, I only have a 20.
Same thing now, they have $10 and they throw in a 20, they gotta drive over here, and those ladies have to figure out, I didn't get into the weeds with, the thing about whether or not it gives change or not. I know it accepts cash, I did ask for that.
And it's subject to future when we put this on.
Correct.
I was thinking that it would help, that we would reduce our attendance. Help me understand why that wouldn't be the case.
On weekends, you're gonna want somebody there, it's a machine. And I would want somebody there because, number one, we don't want a free-for-all. So that keeps some semblance of order, at the boat launch. And like we're doing it now, during the week, we don't have anybody, they're not overrun. Couple days during the week this year, because of weather, the parking lot has been nearly full. And that, but it's only been once or twice that I've seen, but definitely on weekends, an attendant just helps keep the flow going.
Well, and especially the way our boat launch is down by the actual launch for traffic control a little bit is making sure that not too many are headed down there at one time. I know when I did work the boat launch a couple of years ago, you would hold people until someone came up with their boat and either left or parked, and then you could send somebody down because you were gonna have them too lugged up, and because of the congestion.
And the attendants are up at the hut and they do that now. They're like, I have 3 boats down there, wait until one of them comes up. They take care of the paperwork, and as soon as they see a boat come in, they're like, all right, you're free to go. And so, an attendant just to monitor on busy weekends is exactly what needs to happen, even with the kiosk.
It would help too with non-payers, you know, people see attendant discount.
Well, they have to have a receipt on their dash,
No,
just
that's
like
not
they
part of
do.
it.
But I recall a couple of years ago when attendants were getting some abuse and disorder
Yeah.
responses, so I thought,
Being married to an attendant, they had 98% positive feedback and 2%
well, a couple
negative.
years ago, we were losing people because it was so bad. I remember that.
Yeah.
So
When I
just
first
my
started,
action.
yeah, when I first started, it was.
My hope would be that somehow we work out, clean boats, clean waters, because we really need one over there with everybody coming on and off. I think that would be a really good program, and if you can tie it in with this a little bit, maybe you're not adding.
One of the notes I had is that the town of Lynn gets part of Clean Boats, Clean Waters, money from their management district.
Right, so, and there's a grant program for that, we get $4 grand.
$4,000 a year.
$4 grand.
And Bob Rice is the guy who talked to about that.
Yes.
I'm looking into that actually,
We've been running.
Have you, is anybody else been looking into it?
No, we've been running
On Potters you have.
for like,
Yeah,
how many years?
I've been
8,
aware of
10,
it, yeah.
20.
20?
It was well before I was in
So I didn't mean to get off topic here, but go ahead.
Any other questions?
So you're rapid.
Just wanted to get a couple of things in front of you. I knew there was not gonna be any action taken on the fees and the kiosk, but if we bring it up and bring it before you, we have time to discuss it and get things into place for 2026.
One last thing, Todd, I saw like there was drawings for the concrete pad and things like that, but then did I see a picture of one mounted on the side of a building?
I believe there's different ways that they do it, the photographs. I don't know if that building would support that. I would think standalone would be better.
Yeah, I think if you were to put it on a building too, you'd be more worried about more of a backup out onto the road versus if you put it in like further where people can fully pull in
Yeah.
versus getting back up on the road. Which there's electric and everything there that can support it also.
Okay, anything else?
I have nothing.
I think we can look at some of the costs, right, and if we could reduce some of the attendance or things like that, and make the business case, pull all that data together.
How do these two things come to the board then? How do we do that? Is that, one of us does some individual stuff and then brings it, or how is that?
Budget, put it in the budget.
It would definitely have to go during the budget, whether we can even afford to purchase
Right.
the kiosk.
So we don't have to have super solid numbers, we would
No.
have this type of thing would be enough for that.
Yeah.
And then for the ordinance on the, fees, that is just,
Authorizing Jim to do that.
so that can just go on
September.
even on September, I think, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for both of the, suggestions. So now we're up to the fire department, fire district.
Okay, my report is in your packet. After our meeting, we did have a budget workshop at our last, meeting. And basically, the operational costs are going to go up by $150,000, but the town's portion is going up around 6,200. We'll get the final number on the 21st at the budget meeting. The concern that I have for the town, can I have a couple minutes here real quick? Is over the last 5 years, the numbers are starting to skew a little bit towards the village. I think we've had this talk in the past. But like,
Population-wise, I mean.
population-wise, but calls-wise, going toward to the village rather than the town. So last year, in 2024, for instance, well, first off, the town is paying about 52% of the emergency services district, fund. But last year, the town had 78 fire calls and the village had 75. Now, the village is only paying, I think they're around 40, well, no, because you got Spring Prairie.
Yeah, which
That's
they're
18.
They were at, what's that?
I thought it was 18.
So
They're
52 plus
just
18 is
8%.
70
They're at 8%.
So.
So they're like 42,
42.
somewhere in there.
Yep.
So 78 calls for fire in the town, 75 for, calls in the village. On the EMS side, last year, we had 266 calls in the town of East Troy, and they had 476 calls in the village. And we're paying more than they are. So what I'd like to do, if we could, I'm not sure where to go with this, if I go to the attorney and we try to talk about rewriting this contract or whatever we have with the village, Mr. Mills, I don't know how that works. Can you explain that to me a little bit? Do we have like a agreement with the village? How does that work in the?
We do.
Is it something we can rewrite and try
I'd
to?
have to look at the, last time that it was addressed and for what length of time it was supposed to be in existence.
Okay.
If you are proposing a change, we're gonna have to renegotiate everything.
Okay.
That's all.
I
I'm
guess,
up for it.
is that, I don't know how to bring this, do I need to put this on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss and maybe, okay.
Authorize me to look into it, reach out, speak to people.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. And August 21st is I know is the annual budget meeting for the East Troy Area Emergency Services District.
And I don't think anything we're gonna talk about here is gonna have any impact on August 21st.
Correct,
That's-
we went through the budget, it was, the operational cost was like a $6,000 increase for the year. The capital, we already pretty much know that we're gonna be spending a lot of money next year, so. With the ladder truck and all that.
What is if I could ask, what's the status of the ladder truck? Because I know the ladder truck was due to be tested in May. And did E1 provide you with a backup, or are you still using the old ladder truck?
Still using the old ladder truck. There's Chiefs.
I saw that the ladder truck is due
Yeah.
in March, but I
Right.
wasn't sure if you were using the old ladder truck.
They are,
Or if
they are, I
it failed the DOT passing.
believe they're still using.
Since the fire district started, it's been based on those 3 criteria. And now that we're worth, the village is worth like 600 million and we're worth 1.8
But I was at the budget meeting last year as a citizen, and I took 20 minutes talking about some of this stuff. And there's legitimacy in what's being said. I've looked at the numbers, I don't have my sheet with me, but the emergency ambulance stuff is about 1.4 million is what's being proposed. And the fire is like 200,000, okay? So the disparity is pretty huge between those two pieces. Everything seems to get lumped with an overall percentage. I wanna see the breakdowns and see what's going on, so I think it's fair.
Local, fire district agreements that are based on population, like they're per capita, and then for number of calls, like a 5-year or 3-year average number of calls, which makes it more equitable than the equalized value piece.
Right.
I asked.
That's why I just wanna look into it. I mean, I think that we need to, it's responsibility of the township to do that.
The towns looked at it probably, what, could you say, Barb, more times than we can count? Unless you get the village to go along with it.
The numbers are coming closer as the village population increases, their call volume certainly is evidenced by the data provided by Supervisor Leonard that their call volume is going up, and as that call volume goes up, their portion of payment or contribution to the formula will continue to rise. But we have a higher property value, and that's what drives the formula at this time.
But the property value is effective for fire, not for ambulance.
That's my thing, I agree.
So-
And that would be nice if it was just on that.
We're gonna analyze this,
Right.
we're going to, because it's, it doesn't seem equitable, and it seems on a 5-year average, it could take 3 or 4 years to even get close to an average that makes sense. So I don't, and we're 5 years away from a 2030.
Well, that's the other thing, the
Commission.
village has put us into, for this 2030, they're putting us into a commission because of their population.
But if
So
you
that's a
read
whole
the-
nother-
If you read the agreement says that the board of trustees operates as a commission. So part of it is that you are already operating as a commission, although the only certified commissioner has no longer been part of the district.
Yep.
So,
But a commission is a separate taxing entity, from my understanding.
Are you sure they're not talking about creating a fire and police commission?
Yes, they are,
They are.
So
And
I-
it's not a separate.
because of the population of the village,
but that won't happen until 2030.
30, right?
30, but the
Oh, that's
issue is
40
5 years
years.
away. It's 5 years away, and there's no need to sit here. But we know
Pay
what's
more than
coming.
their fair share for the next
Right,
5 years.
we're not gonna do that. We can talk about what's real and fair, and we're gonna have those discussions. So I agree, we'll do that. Any other thoughts on this? Couple of things, when we talked early on, about 3 or 4 months ago, one of my concerns was ETA SD doesn't have a website, doesn't have a presence. I can't see who the board members are when I go online. Is there any
On
problem?
our page, we'll do nothing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any progress, or can you report maybe in the future?
I can tell you that I've been on, 3 months now, so, I've been trying to feel my way around a little bit. The new president, if there isn't anything to talk about, it's over. Our last meeting, I think, was 2 minutes and 58 seconds long. So I will going to start putting stuff on the agenda to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, and then training and leadership, team building with the volunteer group and the professional group. I know there was tension there. I think just we need some work in that area to build that whole thing up, and I think that's a positive training opportunity. So I think they're already 5-year planning, but anyway, just a few things on my sites. Anything else for fire? planning commission, Supervisor Reyes.
Yes, we met, last Wednesday, August sixth, and we had 3 cases presented. We did approve all 3. The first, was Mr. Burns presented in front of us. He is, extending his deck, on the back of his house, but also making some other adjustments, so the impervious surface is actually being reduced in total. He is still within the setback requirement. So the planning commission reviewed it, all reasonable, is not impacting his neighbor's line of sight, those kind of things, met all of the requirements. So the planning commission approved it, and so I would make a motion to approve the planning commission's recommendation for the variance for PWW 00013 at N8728 Wilmer's Point Lane, David to Burns. Per the reasons referenced in the planning commission resolution.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The second case that we had was, a request to update the 2050 comprehensive plan, which goes to the county, next month. And this is for Jack Schaefer's property on Bell School Road. Again, this is just a change to the comprehensive plan. They would still have to come back for any zoning requests and, in order to split up the lots at all. So there is, like we said, a timeline. The county sees it, these requests only once a year for the 2050 plan amendments. Again, it was reasonable, he has to come back for more details, it's just changing, it was like 8.04 acres from A prime to AB2. So, then I would make a motion to approve the planning commission's recommendation for the 2050 plan amendment for PET 36000003 at N4780 Bell School Road, Jack Schaefer / Hunter Creek Trust owner, and Tony Zanon, Pinnacle Engineering Group, for the reasons referenced in the planning commission's resolution.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last case that we had, was Michael Gerton. Applicant was looking for a variance on their property. They are removing the boathouse and then changing it to, they're making the boathouse smaller and then having a patio. And that was presented, as Jim was mentioning in the beginning of earlier in the meeting. I think there's just the numbers are maybe either reversed or a typo in the second paragraph where it talks about opening the viewing corridor, because it says from 55 to 36%. But again, they're not changing the impervious surface, it does give better line of sight. And their boathouse was more in the middle of their property, and by making this change of only taking up a portion, it'll make it more closer to the end of the lot, like the rest of the neighbors. So I would make a motion to approve the planning commission's recommendation for the variance for P0E00010 at North 9114 Oakwood Lane, Waterville, James Humbert Jr. and Benjamin Trevino, owners, and Michael Gerton, Deep River Partners, applicant, per the reasons referenced in the planning commission's resolution as modified.
You said a while ago.
Yeah, their address is
Oh,
actually
okay.
one.
This is,
Oh. Yeah, in, here it says
They
McGuanago.
done,
I'll
sure
double
done
check.
change that.
Yeah. It's McGuanago, right?
Yeah, Oakwood is not.
Yeah, I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So that needs to be updated on the
The two things on the
Before it
first
goes.
one, yeah.
Okay. So, now we are up to unfinished business. I have a couple of things related to, the Lake District, LDMD, A and B under 9, before I get into